righty. We back at it.
Yes, sir.
Back to the show.
Another episode.
So today we are going to be discussing Renee Goods. This is a dividing topic among the country right now.
Yeah.
Between the left, the right, and whoever else is in that pot. We are going to give our response to it. First thing, we don't condone any killing of such matter in this way. But there is also consequences here that take place in this country and how our society live. I'm going to start off first, but clearly I'm the one that's talking, and then we each going to give our response, whether if they have a talking point, that we give each other time to give our opinion on this matter, because we're just outside looking in. So Renee Goods was sadly unalived by an ICE officer during the altercation of it. And interfering with an ICE investigation. I'm going to talk to it from a standpoint because there are pros and cons and there's good and bad. So I'm going to talk about this topic from a black person standpoint. If I get pulled over by a law enforcement officer, if I reach for my wallet in the wrong way, I might get shot. If I reach for my registration and my insurance, I might get shot. If my hands are not on the steering wheel visible to the law enforcement officer, I might get shot. If that officer feels uncomfortable, feels like I'm mad, agitated, and he's unsafe in the situation, I might get shot. I'm not sure what compelled this individual, Renee, to follow ICE agents into an investigation or a raid or a deportation matter. Who's the cause of this problem? The cause of this problem are the Democrats and the liberals. They're the one that allowed the migrants to flood into the country in mass numbers, therefore creating the situation we are now in with ICE agents. Also, there's a little bit of hypocritical talking points here from the left and the liberal from my standpoint, because you assholes are the same people that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. You are the same people that were, when Trump got assassinated, you were telling people he need to have better aim. I wish he didn't miss. And now you're giving an opinion on this matter. No, I am not condoning the death or the incident of this person passing away, but there has to be, are we going to call it double standard or some type of, we all saw the body cam footage. I'm glad we waited a little bit to get a little bit more information. I don't have all the information. You don't have all the information. I'm going off the information we have right now. Based upon the video, she was backing up. Her steering wheel was turned to the left, and they asked her to get out the car and stop. These are lawful orders by federal agents. These are not state agents. They are held by different standards, not the standard you typically have in your local state or whatever state you live in. And if you look at the footage, especially the body cam footage, she sped off. The wheel skirt on the ground, driving toward the officer. If some of you are aware and up to date on the current information, this ICE officer was dragged 30 feet in a previous ICE altercation. So his nerve and his senses are a little high at the moment. Now, I'm not claiming I have all the issues right now, but that's just my current take on it. There has to be an accountability on both sides. Who is funding these individuals to interfere in these ICE investigation or the ICE raid? Why are you there? Why are you following them? I'm not sure if anyone else saw the video of the body cam footage prior to the incident. They were being followed for a while by this individual. That's where I'm going to stop at on this issue. I'm not sure if you guys got any thoughts or comments on that or your take. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to give me your take.
Absolutely. I got a slightly different, take on the whole situation. I don't think that, for one, I think we do enough of the blame tossing as far as who's to blame for all of this stuff when, when you're referring to, the liberals and Democrats allowing all the, the immigrants to come in. And I'm like, I feel like this is, yeah, you can look at it as far as like, hey, if the liberals had never let, all these people in, then ICE wouldn't be out here doing this, and there would be no. But if you want to be realistic, certain people are going to find reasons to protest and interfere with things that they disagree with. So if it wasn't an ICE raid that they were interfering with, it could have been any number of things. It could have been a protest or something against Trump, or it could have been, any number of incidents that, that could have brought about a similar situation to this, because this is not the first time that we've seen somebody get, shot or injured by, law enforcement for put a blanket statement over disorderly conduct or interfering, or, what have you want to place it. But what I saw in this video, and from, looking into it, from what they were saying, they had just dropped off their kid from, at school or whatever, and they were, I'm assuming, heading back home. And they happened to come across this neighborhood where the ICE agents were getting ready to carry out a raid or something like that, some kind of planned thing. So like they've been doing, especially here in Chicago, when somebody realizes, hey, these are ICE vehicles, everybody started, like in Training Day, they started flipping the birds. Like when Lonzo and Hoyt came into the jungle, they, we started hearing people doing the whistle, and the birds, pigeons and stuff started flipping. That's what they've been doing. Like they letting people know, like, hey, ICE is in the neighborhood. If you ain't supposed to be here, you go hide or whatever. So I'm assuming, this is what it looked like. This is what happened here. So she took it upon herself to, pull over and let her wife out of the vehicle. And then she parked her car horizontally in the street, and in an attempt to block ICE from continuing on, or, whatever. And this is where, this is just like the beginning of the end. Because, obviously, if she had continued on her way, all of this could have been avoided. So, what happened from there is extremely unfortunate. And I think a lot of the times when I'm looking through these comments and looking at the reactions of people, I feel like everybody is really missing the root of the question, like the real, true question. And to me personally, I feel like the real question is, should she have been killed for what she did? And unequivocally, my answer is no. Does she deserve to be, does she deserve to be dead? And my answer is absolutely not. Now, where it starts to get sticky is when you go into the legality of justified shooting and reasonable force, and whether or not she was using the vehicle as a weapon, which, upon looking into what the courts have to take, what the courts tend to take into consideration when they, are deciding, that kind of thing, like, is a person using the vehicle as a weapon? It didn't seem like it to me, personally. It seemed like she, was intentionally, obstructing, what they were trying to do. And then when she was getting ready to be confronted with the consequences of possibly being detained or arrested, she was trying to flee. Now, when you look at the video, more, you see her slowly reversing to get distance between her and the cops that were in front of her. And then she turned the wheel away from the police officers. And she was looking out of her left window at the police officer that was yanking on her door. And then she began to, turn the wheel and try to drive away. And as she was doing this, the police officer who we got his cell phone footage of just recently, he stepped in front of the vehicle as the vehicle was moving back. And my only interpretation of that is he was putting himself in front of the vehicle because he's like, oh, if I'm standing here, obviously she's not gonna move the vehicle. So he's using his body as a way to stop the vehicle from going forward. I don't think that that's in any handbooks for any type of law enforcement to put yourself in front of a moving vehicle in an attempt to stop it from moving, personally.